Festival May 20th through June 2nd.
Let's talk about your home a little bit this morning. If you are looking to add a gate, perhaps a handrail to your home for yourself or for someone who's maybe aging and wants to have some safety there, you are very lucky that Wells Ornamental is on the show with us this morning. This is Marcus Shadrick, totally decked out in his marketing hat, so you'll remember the name of the company, Wells Ornamental. But people know it probably, Marcus. You've been around since when?
1946 is when they originally opened. They moved into the building on Ringgold Road in 1952, and recently we moved because they're selling the property. So, but we're real close to where we used to be.
You're in Ringgold proper now,
Correct.
Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
So, I mean, I think there's something before we get into the nitty-gritty about what it is that you do at Wells Ornamental to celebrate the fact that you have been in business for 70 plus years, because that's not so easy. As a small business these days, so quality has to be behind what you do.
We have a lot of experience doing what we do, whether it's a handrail, a fence, or a gate. We do the artwork, we do the custom fabrication, we paint, and we install.
You got my interest very quickly in the conversation because I talk about my mother a lot, so you'll have to forgive me here, but she's getting older, and so we're in the process actually in Atlanta of looking to get a railing put up on her front porch steps because there isn't one right now, and she wants wrought iron. She does not want the prefab stuff. That's what you do.
Yes, ma'am, we do. Everything is custom fabrication. We will build the wrought iron handrail to the exact spot. We come out and do the artwork, and any design, it's your design or our design. We have basic designs, but some people would like to have it pretty fancy. So it just depends on what the customer wants. We build it.
Well, it really is a piece of art in a way that you're creating for people, because it's being done specifically to their taste. And if they do want something, as you say, pretty fancy, they're always going to look at that and know that that's what they really wanted for their house.
Yes, ma'am. Some of the jobs are basic, but some of them are pretty fancy, and we can go over some of the artwork that's available. They can pick something offline that they've seen, and I can find the ornaments and get those ordered, and when we get them in, we can build it to exact specifications of what they want.
Well, you talk a lot, I think, we all do, about kind of the skilled labor of old and what used to be, how things that are old are built so well. That's really what you're still continuing then today. These are meant to last.
Yes, Mike has been with us for 52 years. It was his grandfather that started the business, and our fabricator has been with us 28 years. So the experience is there to build pretty much whatever they would like built and get the installation right.
So back to the guardrails, that's an awful lot of what you do, and I'm guessing that's improved. No, is that wrong?
Handrails.
Handrails. I don't know why. I thought
some people do drive cars into the handrails, which technically they would become guardrails at that point.
A handrail is a lot of what you do, and I'm guessing that people choosing to stay in their homes longer has added to that.
Yes, ma'am. The growing population of people who are aged and hitting a point in their life where they may need a little help going down the stairs so they don't fall. It's very tragic when elderly people fall and hurt themselves.
Also, if you have been in a house for a long time and then you go to sell it, codes change. There are a lot of people who for years didn't have to have a handrail, and I think that codes have changed now.
The codes have changed. We build everything to building codes depending on the specific location. So
what is your typical turnaround time when somebody calls you? What is the process?
Right now we're about 2 weeks out on doing the artwork, buying the steel, custom fabrication, getting it painted, and getting the installation scheduled.
Okay, so if I wanted to have you come and do a handrail at my house, I'd call you. Within a couple of weeks you would have come out?
I usually come out within 2 days.
And then, so you come out and then I'd have the artwork to see within a 2-week time frame?
We would decide on the artwork within a couple of days, and then that way we get the steel purchased and get it in the shop and start the fabrication.
Oh, so I would have it in 2 weeks?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, that's
great. It would be installed. Yes, ma'am.
That's great. Explain to me and on camera what you were telling me a little bit earlier off camera. I was asking you, is it really wrought iron or is it that aluminum stuff?
We can do aluminum, but typically we only do, it's not wrought iron anymore. The word wrought means worked. It's a piece of metal that has been worked. Iron is more expensive than steel because steel is so widely used. So everybody uses steel nowadays, but the term wrought iron still sticks around.
It's worked iron.
Yes, yes, ma'am. So we call it wrought iron, but that's just because the term is so widely used by everybody.
But people can picture wrought iron in their minds. So that beautiful thin delicateness to it, that's what you're creating. It's not just an up and down rod.
Yes, ma'am. So we work the steel to...
You can laugh at me, it's okay.
We work the steel to, make any kind of design or add any kind of ornaments. We do handrails that have horizontal pickets. We do handrails that have vertical pickets. We do handrails that have twisted pickets. Ornaments are added in. So, depending on if you want a modern look or more traditional look, we do it all.
And it's heavier, right? So from a weather perspective, it's more durable?
Yes, ma'am. I mean, if with a little bit of maintenance, they can last, maybe 100 years. I'm not real sure, but I know 60 or 70 because we did a small repair job for a lady here recently where we had put in a fence for her 30 years ago, and just needed a little bit of repair and added a gate, and so it lasts so much longer than wood, and is in the long run is more cost effective. Where aluminum does not quite stay as sturdy because it's not as rigid as steel.
Well, it's piqued my interest. I'm glad to know that you're down the road in Ringgold, Georgia, and they have been for 78 years?
Yeah, well, they were on Ringgold Road since 52, so 72, 71 years, something like that.
We'll do the math in our heads. Here are the numbers for you to call, though, 275-4766. There's their new address on Dakota Lane in Ringgold.
Yes, ma'am.
And you can find them online at wellsornamental.com.
Just the other day, I had a customer, it's like she had to get up and go to the doctor. She went to open her garage door, the next thing you know, it's broke.
Precision Garage Door Service is always here for you.
We could be there quickly to get your door back on.